morning, viewers at home. Welcome to the program, Superdawn. I am Vera. I will super with you on this edition of the program. Well, the holiday is over and work has started fully for some people. But we want to say welcome back from holidaying. Well, today on this show, what we usually do on this program is go through the dailies, the national dailies. We'll go through the papers, open the phone lines so you to call, make a contribution. But what we'll be doing today is we just read the newspaper headlines, then we can open the phone lines, we start discussion. You are free to call in the program. Away from that, we want to look at something very important right now. We've been fighting insecurity. We've been looking for challenges and solutions for insecurity. Recently, there was another attack a few days ago in Borno State. So we want to look at addressing the insecurity challenge in Nigeria this morning. We must come to a point where we say, hey, if not totally eradicated or destroyed, we must come to a point where we won't be hearing of lives, maybe one or two, which is so sad. But with what happened recently a few days ago, one must begin to look at how we can disarm this barbaric act, these people, insurgents in Nigeria. So that's what we're going to be doing today on this show. And also don't forget that we'll talk a bit about sports this morning. Once again, good morning to you. We'll go on this break, and when we come back, Anthony and I will review the papers. Let's go on a break. We'll be right back.
Superdawn, your daily live current affairs program where topical issues that border on politics, economy, sport, and sizzling national issues are analyzed, now holds every Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Superscreen television. Let your voice be heard. Join us.
Welcome back. Is the newspaper review segment. I will start with the Punch newspaper this morning. Buhari rules out meetings with MPDP members. And the writer says NWC candidates panic over unity list for MPC convention. We also have in the papers this morning, it says, here says, at last, Buhari to sign 2018 budget on Wednesday, and that's going to be tomorrow. We have here 100,000 children lack access to polio vaccines, says minister. LASTMA official detained school children over driver's traffic offense. 2019. Oyinlola Mimiko visit Ladoja over merger. And finally here we have masqueraders obey Olu Ibadan directives, Sean Ibadan Kings. That's what we can take on the Punch, and we'll move away to Daily Trust this morning.
Okay, from the Daily Trust newspaper we have here, President signs 2018 budget tomorrow. And you can find that on page 3 of the Daily Trust newspaper. Another one here says, confusion as Kogi senior doctors dies. 3 nurses slumps. Sadly, that's on page 12 of the newspaper. And this one says, Buhari, I'm not ready to meet NPDP members. And this one says, Atiku Tinubu meets at Akure Airport. Dangote donates 2 billion naira housing estate to Borno IDPs. And finally, we have here 24 Gen Coals record 36.8 billion naira shortfall for April emergency energy bill. And that will be all for the Daily Trust.
Moving away from Daily Trust, we take some headlines from the Vanguard this morning. And it says, party chairmanship. Oshomole triggers war between APC and PDP. And the writer says, crisis over soon, as party officials rally fear over Okorocha-led appeal panel. We also have some writers here this morning, and it says, Bini Council backs Oshomole as PDP urges him to clear allegations in petition to EFCC. Magnus Ibe faction grabs River APC ESCO. We have this here this morning. It says, shape of APC, unity list out tomorrow as Tinubu's candidate face pressure. Rice smuggling. Federal government to shut land borders in few days. Ogbe. We also have here, Dangote launches 2 billion ready-made village for IDP in Maiduguri. $500 million Abacha loots. Federal government meets US, UK, Jersey's official in London. We have here this morning, Buhari, unhappy with 2018 budget passed by NAS, but will sign tomorrow. That's what we can take from the Vanguard this morning.
Okay, moving on to the New Telegraph, we have here, federal government to shut down border over rice smuggling. APC governors move against NWC members, and it comes with a writer that says, party leaders to submit unity list on Friday. And it comes with another writer that says, panel disqualifies aspirants over age and education. Cholera outbreak kills 16 in KB, Niger. And lastly, we have here 1,500 Nigerians in Italian prisons, says envoy. And that will be all from the New Telegraph newspaper. Okay,
that's all we can take from the News Telegraph newspaper. Up next is our substantive. I want to look at the how addressing the security challenge in Nigeria. This is expedient because we've seen where our militaries, they've been trying to ease that area from insurgents. But every time when we think it's over, it comes back again. And questions keep coming. Recently, the acting director, defense minister, the acting defense director had said that politicians are using thugs as Fulani headsmen, with arms and the rest. We're going to be discussing all of this and how we can really tackle this menace. It needs an urgent solution. But we'll go on this break. When we come back, we'll be meeting with our guests. Please stay with us.
Superdawn, your daily live current affairs program where topical issues that border on politics, economy, sport, sport, and sizzling national issues are analyzed now holds every Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Superscreen Television. Let your voice be heard. Join.
Tips on balanced diet. Eat more of starchy foods, which include potatoes, cereals, pasta, rice, and bread. Choose whole grain varieties when you can. They contain more fiber and can make you feel full for longer. It's recommended that we eat at least 5 portions of different types of fruits and vegetables a day. A glass of 100% unsweetened fruit juice can count as 1 portion, and vegetables cooked into dishes also count. Fish is a good source of protein and contains many vitamins and minerals. Aim for at least 2 portions a week, including at least 1 portion of oily fish. Oily fish is high in omega-3 fats, which may help to prevent heart disease. You can choose from fresh, frozen, and canned, but remember that canned and smoked fish can be high in salt. Cut down on saturated fat or sugar. Although we all need some fat in our diet, it is important to pay attention to the amount and type of fat we are eating. There are 2 main types of fat: saturated and unsaturated. Too much saturated fat can increase the amount of cholesterol in the blood, which increases your risk of developing heart disease. Saturated fat is found in many foods such as hard cheese, cakes, biscuits, sausages, cream, butter, lead, and pies. Most people eat and drink too much sugar. Sugary foods and drinks, including alcoholic drinks, are often high in calories and could contribute to weight gain. They can also cause tooth decay, especially if eaten between meals. Even if you don't add salt to your food, we may still be eating too much. About 3/4 of the salt we eat is already in the food we buy, such as cereals, soups, breads, and sauces. Eating too much salt can raise your blood pressure. Eating a healthy, balanced diet plays an important part in maintaining a healthy weight, which is an important part of overall good health. Being overweight or obese can lead to health conditions such as type 2 diabetes, certain cancers, heart disease, and stroke. Physical activity can help you to maintain weight loss or be a healthy weight. Being active doesn't have to mean hours at the gym. You can find ways to fit more activity into your daily life. For example, try getting off the bus one stop early on the way home from work and walking. Being physically active may help reduce the risk of heart disease, stroke, and type 2 diabetes. We need to drink about 1.2 liters of fluid every day to stop us getting dehydrated. This is in addition to the fluid we get from the food we eat. All non-alcoholic drinks count, but water, milk, and fruit juice are the most healthier. Some people skip breakfast because they think it will help them lose weight. In fact, research shows that eating breakfast can help people control their weight. A healthy breakfast is an important part of a balanced diet and provides some of the vitamins and minerals we need for good health. Whole milk cereal with fruit sliced over the top is a tasty and nutritious breakfast.
Welcome back. Well, in this segment, we want to looking at addressing the security challenge in Nigeria. It's really a menace, and loads of people cannot just sit down and watch while people are dying. These have generated a lot of controversy in different quarters. Everybody has different opinion. But today we have our guests in the studios. First, we have Ambassador Roy Ohidevie. Good morning to you. August I, and a security expert. Good morning to you.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
We also have Colonel Nojim Shobo. It's an expert, a lecturer from the University of Lagos, and a security expert. Good morning to you.
Good morning, madam.
Well, I'll have to start with Ambassador Roy. Looking at what it's on ground right now, just a few days ago, the insurgents came attacking and lots of people lost their lives. About some says 43, some people said 30. Different people came with figures, but lots of people lost their lives and loads of people were injured in that attack. Are we saying that we cannot solve this challenge?
Okay, good morning. Thank you for bringing me on set. And I must say that it's a privilege to sit down with Oga Shobo and begin to talk about national security, because these are people that are very, very grounded in security. And I think I'm here to learn.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Yeah. So, you see, let us want to look at national security.
Yes.
So let us not allow ourselves to marginalize others. You see, people always say they marginalized us for appointments, they marginalize us for education. But you are also being marginalized if your security challenges are not talked about. Okay? It's just like it's only in the Northeast we have security challenges, so all beams should go to Northeast. If we are looking at security challenges in Nigeria, we should start by identifying the type of security challenges that are very relevant to different sections of the country. Now, you know that in my state of origin, Edo State, two types of security challenges are three I can identify. One of them is advanced free fraud, which has also generated into Yahoo Plus, what they call Yahoo Plus now, that have gone into rituals. The second one is human trafficking. Okay? And when you abuse and traffic humans, nothing comes out of those kind of people except being criminal, because they think they have also been abused. The third one you have in that kind of area is the armed banditry, especially kidnapping. Okay? Now, this kind of crime is also repeated in some eastern states too, where you will see cases of rituals, cutting off parts of human beings, using them for diabolical means. It's also conversant with Lagos State. Okay? Then in the Niger Delta area, you will see more of kidnapping. You see cultism. Cultism too have roped in southwest states, where youths go into cult groups. They fight amongst themselves, or they fight with government security agencies, or they attack innocent citizens. So we have this myriad of cases that are very conversant with different zones. So if we say we are going to look at the Northeast, we will need to be talking towards the end when we are talking about solutions.
Okay, but looking at what we have on ground, we're looking actually at the attackers, Boko Haram, the Fulani headers, and the rest. But looking at what happened recently, people were killed at dead midnight. Are you saying that we cannot identify these people?
I saw somebody sent a small video clip to me where children were playing, then they had gunshots, and they ran into their houses. Okay, I replayed it and replayed it. They are trying to sensitize people, run into your houses. But if I'm doing such a clip, I would like to add, run into your houses and make calls. I would like people to see that you hear gunshots, you make calls. Because security is basically for the society. You see something, you say something. Now, if you look at you journalists, let's take journalism, because journalism has gone far in Nigeria. It has been abused, it's corrected in so many fora now, especially on media, TV, radio. Now, how many times have we gone into a community with our vehicle and camera and tried to capture vulnerable points and try to capture areas where people gather and they could be attacked, and try to capture worship centers like churches, mosques, soft targets like malls, ShopRite and all those soft targets, how people egress and egress, how people do access control, how people do profiling of persons. You understand? I'm trying to see where somebody walks into a community, try to take a covert video of where somebody walks up to you and say, who are you? So we are still porous within our reactive tendencies. So we cannot expatiate into proactive tendencies. That is why you see these kind of attacks are still quantum. Okay. Because we, the citizens that are the vulnerable victims, we are the first to be able to say this area is for known persons. We don't know you. Okay, but before I continue, I must, it's an opportunity to say it here. We have a program that we do. It's called Security Eye, where we go into lumps, we go into places, the communities, to get reactions and what they do. So that's where it fell in. And so we're doing that, and I hope you're watching Super Screen Television. Yeah. You'll have known that. Okay, thank you for doing that. And I'm moving away. Let me ask, every country has had its fair of
seemingly insecurity challenges. But looking at the state of it, if it keeps rising, it calls for an immediate action. Looking at what just happened recently, Colonel Shobo, do you think we can really stop these boys from attacking us?
Well, thank you very much. And Roy, you are welcome to the program.
Thank you, sir.
You see, the issue of security is a continuous thing. And because it is continuous, we must continue to manage it, and we are expected to continue to be proactive in our dealings. But if the responsibility of protection of lives and property, well, the Constitution says it's the responsibility of the government to protect the citizens, to ensure the citizens get the basic needs, which of course includes security. So therefore, but you see, the crime rate today has outgrown that constitutional provision, in the sense that you don't expect the government to go and knock on your door and start finding out what challenges you have. So, as much as possible, the northeastern part of the country is already a battlefield of terrorists. And we have agreed, we discussed here, and it has been, propagated, awareness has been created that as much as possible, every community should take the responsibility of protection of life and property into their hands. They should assist government security agencies, because the government security agencies we have today, they are very thin on the ground. Their strength is not enough to be able to police the various communities. And that is why the community should be able to mobilize their own internal security apparatus to ensure that lives and properties are protected, to ensure that awareness is created, to be able to take care of children, women, and the elderly, most especially during festive activities. That was why what happened 3 days ago was just part of the pointers of what we should be expecting during specific activities. And I'm equally aware, the Inspector General of Police told us 15,000 policemen were deployed to ensure a hitch-free exercise for the Yellowtide. So if 15,000 policemen have been sent on the field, we are not talking even of Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps officers too that are on that field. We are not talking of the organic men that are on the ground in these various communities. We are not looking at civilian vigilante group in this community.
So how did they attack when you have 15,000 policemen in that community and they still attacked?
You see, when you are looking at improvised explosive devices, there are two principal means of implanting improvised explosive devices to the body of an individual. You can implant it using an electronic system through what we call an IDF. So if you use an IDF, the person you are implanting that thing into his body will not be aware, because it has a transponder, it has a detector. And when you plant it, that person can live with improvised explosive devices for the next 10 years. You're not going to know. And even if a prisoner of war, you can implant it in his body, he wouldn't know. And he will continue to go around until that thing is detonated. So what happened 3 days ago happened around 8:45 in the night. So and it was during the festive activities. Lot of children were outside there. And the children there, they are difficult to control.
Okay, what about intelligent gathering? Is it just policemen with arms? What about intelligent gathering?
Of course.
Shouldn't they have gotten information, a wind about what was to happen?
The National Orientation Agency have done a lot. They've gone on campaigns. They've created that awareness in the community that people should be able to identify strangers, like my colleague have said here, that you should be able to know who are the strangers in the community. Somebody you have not seen within the community, you want to ask him, what are you doing here? Can I meet you? That is meet and greet. So if, for whatever reason, eyeball to eyeball, you see such a person and the person managed to go away, he will not pass by again. So what really happened was, the children were difficult to control. And if you look at the death rate and the casualty number that were announced, large number of the people that died there, they were little children.
No, but what I'm saying is, I said, are they not supposed to have intelligent gathering? I mean, the policemen, the security agencies in that area.
And we go back to the communities too and find out.
No, we'll definitely go there, but I want to ask from you. Yes. Are they not supposed to have intelligent gathering? Aside holding your guns, are you not supposed to go around to find out? Because you know that they are festive period and this might happen.
The commissioner of police for that state has came on air and he advised the community that they should pass relevant information to the police. He equally advised them, if they see something, they should say something. They gave them new telephone number they could call if there is anything they've seen. But around the time when the incident occurred, nobody was seeing anybody. You couldn't identify anybody. There were no street lights. So people are just making noise and they were speaking the same language. People on awareness, people are not, nobody bothers. They were in festive mood until when they heard the gunshot. And by the time they heard the gunshot, you see, there was crowd. People were rushing. And you know, when you look at crowd, there are different, we have about 5 different types of crowds. So managing of crowd is another problem. Little children too, they are stranger to the police.
Okay, let me ask Ambassador Roy this question.
Okay.
Same question. I think you, when he was speaking, you were nodding. Maybe your thoughts are different from his.
My thoughts are not different,
okay,
but they are coming in a different light.
Okay.
Okay? It's very, very correct to say that the community is not placed in a defensive position. They don't carry out defensive activities. Okay? They expect the government to also come and protect them. And who dies? They die more than the government security agency. Now, let's come from the words you made, which I think was not responded to, the security agencies. Now, we have secret agents in Nigeria. The DSS, the NSA, even in the army, you have the DMI. Even in the police, there are SCIDs, Special Criminal Investigation Departments. Okay, so in all agencies, the Navy, the immigration, the customs, all of them have a department where people are covert in operations. Their activities are not declared. They extract intelligence information, they gather intelligence information from unconventional means. Like, I could be a shoemaker within your community. You wouldn't know if I'm taking my normal salary, I'm paying for danger allowance and everything. Now, my concern is I like to be an agent where I will go at all ends and challenge all odds. This community of Boko Haram we are talking about, they have already aligned with a culture. Yes. They have aligned with a language. They have aligned with a designated area of operation. Am I correct if I say we have Nigerians also who are not members also, who live in communities within where they operate, where they camp, where they train? Mm-hmm. They have people that sell foods to them. Can't we penetrate? I know that's where you are coming to.
That's where I'm going to.
Can't we penetrate? Can't we have moles within to also highlight? Because there were times where they had moles in the army that we tell them the army is coming through this route and they will lay ambush. We had all those cries from military commanders saying, how did they know where we were coming through? Now, can't we have moles from our secret agencies? I'm not even annihilating.
But the community should play prominent role in that.
The community will be recruited by the agency.
Aside the community.
Yes.
The role of the agency.
Can't we have people that we say they are coming to attack XYZ community tomorrow? I'm just coming out from the meeting now. Can we penetrate? Because if we remember how Osama bin Laden and how the US finally closed that chapter, they got him on the spot.
I'm going to allow you there. I'm going to allow you to continue from there, but there's a caller. Innocent, good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning to you. Go ahead.
Good morning. Yeah, Innocent from Nigeria. Are you hearing me?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I want to make some contribution. But I want to thank the gentlemen that are there. But it seems to me that they're trying to cover up the loopholes from the security officers. For some months now, I remember that the IGP ordered all the vigilante groups to surrender their guns. So I wonder how the community are going to assist the military, to identify who are the Boko Haram or the Fulani herdsmen. The issue is that they are not serious about the security. And again, maybe their relatives have not died. So many people are dying, and these gentlemen are here defending them. So for me, I'm not happy for what is happening in the nation. They should rise up. And that is my own contribution.
Okay, thank you so much. I don't know who is defending. Maybe you need to speak for yourselves.
Well, what really happened?
I think he didn't hear you right.
Well, we heard him. It's a good contribution from his own side. But the IGP directed that illegal arms fabricated or manufactured in the hands of unauthorized people should be mopped up. But those people that have their arms legally, they are still free to keep those arms because on an annual basis, they recertify them. So therefore, and because there are a lot of arms proliferation in the country already, a lot of impersonation are going on, the IG is doing its job by ensuring that arms are not in the wrong hands because they could equally be used for a wrong purpose. So we expect members of the community to be able to do something before government security agencies will come in.
Okay, so you are talking about the members of the communities,
That
what
is
they
my,
need to do.
The community is my
you were
baby.
talking about
Yes.
Bin Laden. Maybe you need to continue.
I said information gathering by government security agencies gives pointer to the attacking arms. So there are covert officers that are supposed to be penetrating these cliques right now. Let me tell you something about, in part of response to him, about Benue State. You know, I served in Benue in the Army Bomb School. Okay, so I always like to talk to people about Benue. And I get sensitive when you go there. Because just recently, everybody said we have Fulani headsmen taking lives in Benue State. And I said, the Fulani headsmen, they live amongst us. There are Benue women that are married to Fulani men.
Yes.
You see what our problem is? We cover issues until they explode. When we see things that we are supposed to take to appropriate quarters, we don't. Now, let me tell you about reporting to police. You could report to the police, and they may not act, and something happens. You remember the hotel in of a robbery, where they said the hotel manager said he reported to the police.
Yes.
Now, why will you report to the police and you see that there is no action and you didn't exhaust other multiple channels?
Shouldn't there be action?
So
Shouldn't there be action?
there may not be action if the reporting line needs approval from a higher authority.
How long will that take?
Thank you. So when you go through other channels, you will truncate that rigorous process and get action because you see the loss of life as a priority to yourself, not trying to test run the facility of the police reporting system. Now, one thing you should also notice, when we report, we should report to all channels. You know, last time we did the security meeting in Lagos State here, so we are talking about information sharing, where the Lagos State security agencies came to private security agencies. And we are telling them, even if you have regional, zonal commands, we will like to escalate our reports to you, to CP office, to IG office. Because when you do that, everybody is talking about that information, and quickly a team will be set up to attack the situation. But by the time you said, I have reported, and maybe the officer you are reporting to may not see the urgency that you think he can see. There are people that are lackadaisical in medicine, that have done operations. You will see the scissors forgotten in the patient's body. There are lackadaisical people in engineering and so many other professions. So when you meet a lackadaisical officer, will you stop there and say, I have reported it, and allow people to die?
I will allow you to continue, but I need to ask this question at this point. Why shouldn't an officer that is supposed to secure life, remember that this person calling at this time, it's a distress call. It's not comfortable. Something is happening. There's threat to life. Why won't an officer take, would you have time to begin to call this, call that, call that? At that point, you want to call someone that can help you. Why are we slow?
Let me tell you. Number one is that the reporting channel and penalty. Officers that have been called and did not take action, who followed up? Okay, the hotel manager at Offa have said he reported to the DPO. Have any of you in media gone to find out what penalties accrued, what findings followed through? Did the DPO actually escalated to a higher authority for action? Did he get approval? If not, if he didn't, no, people don't follow through to logical conclusions. That is for one. So an officer may just assume nothing go happen. The second one is the motivation. Most of them that die, okay? How many times have we found out if their families were appropriately remunerated? I'm a retired military man. I know how many soldiers have died, even as at yesterday, Monday, people died again in the East, which I shared to some security
Didn't you sign for it?
Yes.
Didn't you sign for it? I signed for what I'm doing now.
I'm coming now. You sign for what you are doing
yes.
now. If this air conditioner is not working in this studio, can you adequately, professionally dispense your interview? You can't. If your cameras are shaky, can you do what you need to do? So it's both ways. The policeman that can't perform because of some encumbrances, he should resign from the job. That's why I resigned yes. also. Then the people too that have reported, if they can't get the result, they should escalate.
There's a caller here. Yes. Yeah. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you. Ibiri, good morning to you.
I want to contribute on the program.
Go ahead.
You see, the security in this Nigeria, I must be frankly speaking, it's nothing to write home about. Yes. We are meant to be secure, but these people are not really doing their work. Something will be happening in my street. I will call the police. I lodge a complaint. Before they will come, something must have gone wrong. Why are they slow? Why are they slow? Does it mean they don't want to secure our life or what? Something will happen as earlier as 1 a.m. I will call the police. They will come here maybe by 6 o'clock. Election is coming next year. I don't know what they're going to promise us. Are they going to promise us security? Are they going to promise us water or life? We are waiting for them. Let them come and make their promise. At the end of the day, we will still be doing the same thing.
Okay, thank you so much for that call, your contribution. Then, Colonel Shoba, I want us to go into what happened recently. The Acting Director of Defense Information, John Ijim, said something that we must talk about this morning. He talked about some politicians using talks disguised as headsmen in those communities. This is a big allegation coming from that end. He said that the clashes we have around Taraba, Benue, Zamfara, and Nasarawa is caused by these people. Is it saying, my thought, that these are not Fulani headsmen, these are talks from politicians? Is it right about it? Do you think it's right?
Well, like I have said, we have a lot of impersonators everywhere. You remember in the past, the president said most of the Asben we are looking at with arms, they are from Libya, of the disbanded army of Muammar Gaddafi. And we equally know too, most of them are from Hissène Habré too, of Chad Republic. Most of them are from Mali. And so therefore, when they disbanded the existing military of those countries, there was no standing force to do disarmament. There was nobody to do the mobilization. So they went home with their weapons with the intention that if the resolution is not favoring them, they will go back on the streets. And that was how they started until other crises started erupting and people find their way with their guns. So therefore, people must move around. And if that is the only way they can protect themselves, so be it. So because of this, you discover that, you see, when there is crime within a community, we want the community to gather to attack a common enemy, even if there are differences. Good. So therefore, look at what my colleague was referring to in the East yesterday. Just hoodlums within the border boundary of one local government or the other, they ambush the military. And they attack the military, they kill one soldier and wounded one. The soldiers were not in the war front, they were just on community patrols. So if the member of the community could attack military men, what could be the reason for that?
So are we safe with what is happening, especially with what the acting director said, that they are politicians? Because the security issue, shouldn't he have mentioned the states, governors? It is simply because
the politicians have not done enough to create job opportunity for these youths.
Shouldn't he? The question is, shouldn't he have mentioned? So because this is security matters, yes, shouldn't he have mentioned the names of the politicians using these talks?
You don't do that because the due process of investigation will be completed. With due respect to my colleague here, that's why we said most of our cases in the country or most of the crimes that are committed have been tried on the media. Before even the police come out, the community have concluded their investigation, like he has said. then we should allow the law to take its due course. Somebody has made an allegation, it has to be investigated. Let us leave the issue of politics. If crime is committed, the crime should be investigated and the law take its due course. But if you continue to meet politics with crime, then we are not really where we are.
Okay, I asked a question. He said these are talks disguised as herdsmen. Did you hear that statement from him? What was the reaction? But there's a caller, I will allow you. Let's get this call. Okay. Hello, Anthony, good morning to you. Okay, sorry, Timothy.
Not Anthony, good morning.
Timothy, good morning to you.
Yeah. My question is to the gentleman in the middle. He just said that...
Your question is to who, please?
Hello?
The question is to who? Your question?
To the gentleman in the middle.
Okay. Colonel Shobo.
Yeah. Yeah, he just said that the killers asked men to call from some from Chad, some from other countries, and that they were not about army to disarm there when the army was divided. Now, my question is, who are they killing for, and what are they killing for? Do they just let their country to just kill for no reason? If they are killing for somebody, who are these persons? As Nigerian government, they go out to one person to say this person is responsible of those people. So they just kill because they want to split blood. So that is my question to him.
Okay, thank you. I will allow him to answer that question. Thank you for calling, Timothy. Yes.
Great. They are not killing for their own interest. Because they are idle hands, they have weapons available to them. And those that need bodyguard, or probably they need people with arms to intimidate their colleagues, their opponents, the other community that are not in their good book, they pay them and use them to achieve their own aim. But good, some of the arrested hoodlums or cultists that have been arrested, they've made confessions. They have made mention of names of some individuals that were sponsoring them. And because these names have been mentioned, we are not going to judge them on the pages of the paper or on the screen. We allow the police to investigate those names and come out with the fact of the case. So, and as much as possible, part of the reasons why the IG have directed the withdrawal of those illegal arms is because of what he has just talked about.
Okay, I asked before the caller called, looking at what the Acting Director of Defense Information, John Ejim, said concerning talks, politicians' talks, disguised as headsmen. What was your thoughts? What's your thought when you heard this? What was your reaction?
Well, there are things I react to, okay? There are things that border on core security that I react to. When you are getting into judiciary, when you are getting into government bureaucracy, I think I like to leave it to them to answer for that. If a general of General Ajim status is a PhD holder, he's not only trained in the military, he has a PhD. If he is making such a statement, the judiciary, the government departments responsible for that, whom he reports to, because I'm sure every statement must have been vetted before it's allowed to be aired. His office is a correspondence office. Any correspondence that have not been cleared cannot be aired. So if he's airing it, then the appropriate government agency should be addressing
Are you saying we shouldn't know when it comes to security?
You
because
should know.
Right now, the fragile unity of Nigeria is at the front burner of the public discourse right now. And we're looking at lives and property. Are you saying the citizenry shouldn't know those politicians? Are you saying he cannot name them?
He can name them when he has the clearance. It is not a security issue anymore. Once security agents have detected that anybody is culpable and suspected to be in connivance, then they address that findings to appropriate quarters. The judiciary should now pick such information whom they have been communicated to and begin to use the country's constitution to see where you have violated any of the constitutional angles, and now accrue a penalty and a charge before you go through trial and a penalty. So those are the times that names will begin to pop up. I don't think Nigerians are interested in names. And when they give you the name, a group of people will say it's politically induced. Another group will say it is because it's a tribe of so and so place. Nobody will look at culpability and available evidences or confessional statements that have credence. So if you have a name at that level of a general, that name would have been communicated to the appropriate government
Okay,
agency.
we'll go on a break, but don't you think, before that break, Colonel Shoba, don't you think that if it's generic, just say politicians, you might be indicting some people that are innocent? Are you not painting all of them the same?
They are not penalized because they have to remove the shark from the can. Because
first,
now a statement has been made. Government security agencies will step in and do their investigation. And the essence of the investigation is to remove politics from crime. So once the issue of crime has been established, then the due process of the law will take its course. Then we leave politics for politicians.
Okay, we'll go on this break now, and when we come back, we'll continue with our guests in the studio. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Superdawn, your daily live current affairs program where topical issues that border on politics, economy, sport, and sizzling national issues are analyzed, now holds every Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Superscreen television. Let your voice be heard. Join us.
These are tips to help stay strong and healthy. Learn to do stretching exercises when you wake up. It boosts circulation and digestion and eases back pain. Studies have shown that eating a proper breakfast is one of the most positive things you can do if you're trying to lose weight. Breakfast skippers tend to gain weight. A balanced diet includes fresh fruits or fruit juice, a high-fiber breakfast cereal, low-fat milk or yogurt with wheat toast, and a boiled egg. Many people do not know how to brush their teeth properly. Improper brushing can cause much damage to your teeth and gums, as not brushing at all. Lots of people do not brush for long enough, floss, nor see a dentist regularly. Hold your toothbrush in the same way that you would hold a pencil, and brush for at least 2 minutes. This includes brushing the teeth, the junction of the teeth and gums, the tongue, and the roof of the mouth. Get your daily calcium by chugging milk or eating yogurt. It will keep your bones strong. Remember that your bone's density declines after the age of 30. You need at least 200 milligrams daily, which you should combine with magnesium, or it simply would not be absorbed. Tomato is a superstar in the fruit and vegetable pantheon. Potatoes and tomatoes contain lycopene, a powerful cancer fighter. They're also rich in vitamin C. The good news is that cooked tomatoes are also nutritious, so use them in pasta, soups, and casseroles, as well as salads. Tomatoes and apples can reduce the risk of asthma and chronic lung diseases. Both contain the antioxidant courseurin. To enjoy the benefits, eat 5 apples a week or tomato every day. We need at least 90 milligrams of vitamin C per day, and the best way to get this is by eating at least 5 servings of fresh fruit and vegetables every day. So hit the oranges and guavas. Folic acid should be taken regularly by pregnant moms and people with a low immunity to disease. Folic acid prevents spina bifida in unborn babies and can play a role in cancer prevention. It is found in green leafy vegetables, liver, fruit, and brain. Vitamins help to boost immunity agent diseases. It also assists in the healing process of diseases such as measles and is recommended by the World Health Organization. Good natural sources of vitamin A are kidneys, livers, dairy products, green and yellow vegetables, pawpaw, mangoes, chili peppers, red sorrel, and the red palm oil. Do not have soft drinks or energy drinks while you're exercising. Stay properly hydrated by drinking enough water during your workout.
Just don't overdo things, as drinking too much water can also be dangerous. Do not eat carbohydrates for at least an hour after exercise. This will force your body to break down fat rather than using the food you ingest. Stick to fruits and fluids during that hour, but avoid beer. Don't smoke, and if you smoke already, do everything in your power to quit. Don't buy into that granny smoked and live to be 90 crude. Not even the tobacco giants believe in it. Have a pap smear once a year. Not on our list of favorite things, but it's vital. Cervical cancer kills 200,000 women a year, and it's most prevalent from the cancer of young black people. Pretty much everyone agrees that fish is healthy. Living is particularly true of fatty fish like salmon, which is loaded with omega-3 fatty acids and various other nutrients. Studies show that people who eat the most fish have a lower risk of sorts of diseases, including heart diseases, dementia, and depression. The importance of getting enough quality sleep cannot be overstated. It may be just as important as diet and exercise, if not more. Poor sleep can drive insulin resistance and throw your appetite hormones out of whack and reduce your physical and mental performance. What's more, it is one of the strongest individual risk factors for future weight gain and obesity. One study showed that short sleep was linked to 89% increased risk of obesity in children and 55% in adults. Drinking enough water can have numerous benefits, and one important factor is that it can help boost the amount of calories you burn. According to 2 studies, it can boost metabolism by 24 to 30% over a period of 1 to 1.5 hours. This can amount to 96 additional calories burned if you drink 2 liters of water. The best time to drink water is half an hour before meals. One study showed that half a liter of water 30 minutes before each meal increased weight loss by 40%. Extra virgin olive oil is the healthiest fat on the planet. It is loaded with heart-healthy, monounsaturated fats and powerful antioxidants that can fight inflammation. Extra virgin olive oil leads to many beneficial effects on heart and health.
Welcome back. We're still looking at addressing the insecurity challenge in Nigeria. It's very important that we look at it and not being on one side, not being one-sided. Looking at this, we still have our guest, Colonel Shobo. Recently, a few days ago, a governor came out, Zamfara State Governor, that he has resigned his appointment with the GSO. He refused a CSO that, no, I am resigning, I cannot handle the security because of what he's going through in the state. What's your take?
My take is that, well, the governor
resigning as a CSO of the state
is the chief executive officer of the state. So is, of course, the chief security officer of that state. So as the chief security officer of that state, his primary responsibility is to coordinate the activities of other government security agencies in the state. They don't have to come under his command. And on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, every month, we had state security meeting with state governors. We sit with the state governor to marshal out the current trend of security in the state and who will be responsible for doing what to ensure there is no escalation or there is no occurrence. That is proactiveness. And once the state governor is giving support, logistic support, or call it anything, a form of motivation to the head of the government security services, and that motivation goes down the line, the boys are happy and they know their area of operational responsibility and they will be ready to exploit. In fact, they will exploit beyond the limit of exploitation because they are motivated and they don't want any crime to be committed in the state. But if you are not supporting them, you want them to come and sit down and then you want to give instructions. No, that is not the issue. We sit down, we discuss the problem areas. Okay, Commissioner of Police, this is what we want. Okay, Commander of the Nigerian Army, this is what we want. State Director of State Security Services, please, this is your role. What of the Vigilante Group? What of the Young Hisba? What of the local community themselves, the councillors? What are their roles? Everybody will be giving their individual roles, and people go out and marshal it and return back to give a feedback to the state governor.
Okay, Colonel Nojim Shobo, if a governor of a state who is the chief security of the state, report to security agencies and nothing is done. Is it what the governor?
Something is
it
being
what
done.
the security agency?
There are a lot of
let me ask you that question.
Something is done. There's no backing.
The man cried out to say that I even called them when we have challenges and they don't answer me. So what's the essence of saying I'm the chief security of the state?
Relationship has broken down.
Okay, I'm just enjoying this. You know?
Okay.
Let me tell you something, madam. I want to talk like a governor, okay?
Good.
I am the governor of my state. I am being protected, and my citizens are being protected by federal security agencies. Now, I don't want to go to where Oga was coming from because he has exhausted that. Liaison and relationship, that is on the one hand. Let me take you through this route. If I'm a governor of my state and I want to make that statement, the first thing I will do is I will give a breakdown of my security votes. And I will tell you what I have done with my security votes that is enough to motivate and correlate action of government security agencies to protect my people.
Good.
That is one. Two, on the other hand, because if we want to talk about that, you need to report to federal.
Yes.
Now, on the other hand, inside, you have your commissioners. They should get together. I will get a full list from the Nigerian Army, from the Nigerian Police, the Immigration, the DSS. I will get a full list of all the people that have served in these agencies and have resigned responsibly. I will invite them to a parley. We will sit together as stakeholders.
Good.
It's my state.
Good.
I came from this state.
Good.
My father, my mother, my uncles, my brothers, my sisters, they still reside or have stake in this state.
Good.
I will be called, so many others will be called from different agencies. You will see a general, you will see a private soldier, you will see a DSS state director, retired, you will see a DSS field officer, you will see immigration, you will see Air Force, you see all of them. When you gather these people together, tell me which government agency you want to manipulate for your state favor by deploying your security vote adequately to mobilize and create logistics, and tell me which police commissioner is in your state that you put together a former DSS director, retired CPs, retired generals, and they will call the commissioner, do a courtesy call to his office on behalf of the governor. You are the CSO of the state. You are not the security spokesperson of the state.
Okay.
Yes, I'm coming.
Yeah, go
when
ahead.
they hit the commissioner's office and they tell him, this is who we are. We have questions. Can you answer us? If he cannot, they will go to Abuja. They will go and see the relevant people concerned because their people are dying. If no action, they will come out with a statement, not the governor, that we are stakeholder of this state, we have fought for this country, we have put our life at stake for this country, we are retired now, and our people are dying. We need action on this, and this. Because they operated in those fields, they will mention the kind of action they want and whose desk it is to respond. Finally, if the government is clouded in secrecy or whatever, no action is taken, I take it to the international community. The international community, as we speak, the federal government of Nigeria have things they need from so many other countries, especially Western countries. You take this to Veteran Association International, you take this to the United Nations desk, you take it to so many places. You have seen people being asked to answer questions from United Nations, human rights, and all
Amnesty
of that.
International.
Take it there.
Okay.
When you take it there, when the federal government require assistance from these people, support, they will tell them, no, until you attend to this.
Okay, you've spoken, but I must take you back. I'm not on the side of a governor, neither am I on the side of the military. What we're doing here in our station is to look at security and solve it. But I will tell you that one time the governor of Benue State cried out that he reached out to the commissioner, he reached out to people for help, and he didn't get help. And another time, you are saying that the governor should go further, you know, get people together, a parley, get them discourse and help out. Do you remember that the IG was directed to a state, Benue State, and it didn't go? Who then will you turn to?
Okay, that's a good question.
Who then do you turn to?
Now,
if an IG
when
of the federation refuse the president, who will listen to him?
Who followed up that matter?
When the man refused to go.
It just died there, and it became a slogan that the president asked the IG to go and didn't go. But if it is maybe a somehow case about infidelity, if it is a case about a woman that had children that are not with her DNA, everybody will follow the story, give update till the end. The one that affects us directly, that take life of our people, we don't follow up till the end. Let me tell you something. If the Benue State governor cried, and this other governor is resigning now, I am asking you the same question I asked you earlier also. Have they engaged stakeholders that are ex-servicemen from DSS, police and all that from their state? That is one. Two, have they engaged the international community? When governors need money, they go to the international community. You will hear China is coming to invest in agriculture in Edo State. You will hear they are releasing so and so money to so and so state. When it comes to loss of lives and property, I'm engaging governors. Take it out of the country to appropriate debts. It may not even come from you. It will have a coalition of concerned citizens. Coalition that will take it up with one voice, not one person speaking. Okay. Because whatever is taken against you as a person, we just make rubbish of that fight. So you take it up as a body, and you take it up against the government or outside the country.
When you say take it outside, have we failed completely that we cannot handle things inward,
if you
internally?
Have not failed,
because we're looking at lives and property.
If
we have failed, that is economy matter. We're talking about security right now.
No, you are getting it wrong.
I want to get it right. Maybe you are not getting it right.
Failed. It is an error.
I didn't say we have failed. I said, have we not?
We have not failed.
Okay.
If we have failed, you will not be sitting down here, madam. You will have lost your license if we have failed. If we have failed, the media is shut down immediately. If we have failed, newspapers will not publish immediately. If you have failed, your airports will be shut down immediately. If you have failed, you will see peacekeepers in your country.
No, I think you didn't get me right. We need to make it clear. I think you didn't get me right. Let me clear it. No, when we're talking about a particular state right now, we're not talking about the generality of the country.
You use the word we.
Wait. When I say we have failed, I'm saying you said that if he cannot get maybe judgment or justice, or he cannot get response, let me put it right, he can go through the international, he should put it into the international hands. That's what I'm saying. Why must a governor go further when we can handle it here?
We are looking at processes. He has given a process of you liaising and motivating the security agencies like Lagos is doing now. Yes. There is a private partnership level in Lagos that has gotten to even private practitioners. Yes. We contribute. If you go to some places, you will see Lagos State Security Trust Fund. People put money to contribute to the security of the state, because what we are seeing has gone beyond what is the allocation for security vote. Good. Now, if you have your own state and you have not called for private partnership, you have not called for your citizens to come and give after retirement, you have not called the international community to say, hey, I'm not getting attention, my people are dying, these are captured incidences, then you should not resign, because you cannot jump out of a ship as a captain and leave your people inside to sink.
Okay, looking at what he has said so far, we're looking at how a governor of a state can handle that relationship because it's very clear. We're looking at lives.
Must be
No, we can handle that relationship. But if it's not coming, we're looking at lives of Nigerians, not just an individual. The governor can be protected. We're looking at those states. You made mention of Lagos State. You cannot compare the finances of Lagos State with that of Zamfara anyway. But he said something. He said they can be a partnership, private partnership with the state.
Yes,
looking at who in Zamfara.
Yes.
We know the economic strength of Zamfara.
Yes.
Can they handle this? And how will they do it? Because we're looking for solutions.
They can handle it effectively. There are processes and procedures. And on a monthly basis, I believe, every state governor has what we call a security meeting. And the essence of security meeting is for the various head of government security agencies to brief the people present on the current situation of security and the trend in which the security is moving. You don't wait until the enemy invaded your office before you cry out. And the essence of this meeting is for people to be proactive, for the people to know what and what is coming and how do they prepare for it. And when they leave your own office as the executive governor, because you are a civilian, then the security agencies will now meet and see how they can partner. Without partnership, it's not going to work. There should be, in fact, the community too must be mobilized against some of these things because the community has a greater role to play. Thank God, yesterday, the Nigerian Air Force has been given 2 aircraft for the purpose of these marauders. And the commander of the Air Force there have promised that, yes, the state governor could be rest assured that they are going to contain it. So the issue of partnership with government security agencies is a must, and it's not a thing that must be toyed with. There must be continuous talking. There must be continuous dialogue. Otherwise, the people will not be happy if their lives are not protected.
Okay, looking at what even happened, we heard when the General Theophilus Danjuma cried out, said, you must protect yourself. And some people read it as saying that that is an invitation
that
to
is
anarchy.
individual interpretation.
Some people
it's
said
an issue of
that's
semantics.
you are a military, you're a colonel in the army before you retired. So if you see something that is not right, won't you say it out the way retired general said it, his own? T.Y. Danjuma said this.
Well, General T.Y. Danjuma was advising the public.
Yes.
And for the benefit of those who are not aware, that now the responsibility now lies on your shoulder to ensure you protect yourself. Somebody just called here that when you call police by 1 o'clock, they don't come till 6 o'clock. There are so many things that could delay the police from coming.
What will delay them from coming?
One, they may not be mobile. Number two, the arms may not be there. Number three, their strength may not be sufficient to combat the forces that you say they are attacking you. So these are the stories. So there could be so many things. But the most important thing is that, you see, to be the chief executive officer of a state, 24/7 you must be awake. When other people are sleeping, that is the time you are starting your own job. So and you must be making phone calls, you must be sending messages, you must be having meetings, and if there's going to be a breakdown, you can cry to the federal might to come to your assistance and things will be done. State government cannot buy aircraft, but the federal government has supplied aircraft yesterday and the journey has started. So these are the stories. So
okay, now we want to look at solving this now. We've talked
proactiveness, symbiotic relationship,
how can we,
partnering,
starting from
creation of awareness. National
I'll come to you. I'll come to you. How can we as an individual first protect ourselves first? It's very important. Then we want you to tell us how can communities protect themselves and also the military and the security agencies in Nigeria.
Roy, let's go.
Okay.
Well, let me first look at the collapse of the judiciary. You see, at a little drawback, you will discover that a lot of judges were accused that money were paid into their accounts while trial was ongoing. A lot of judges also, monies were found in their houses. Now, when there is no penalty, you see a lot of children in a house and the neighbor's house is calm. This other house is in anarchy. They say, oh, their father is a woman rapper or something like that. Okay, because if you penalize A for A's offense and penalize B for same offense, same penalty, you will begin to get sanity. You will begin to get sanity. The period where the police prosecutors have gone to court and the next week they see the same criminal driving by OC, well done, then he's going free, and he's caught and recaught and retried repeatedly.
Repeat victimization.
That began to create an opportunity for people to see that crime can be, penalties for crime can be compromised. Now, I also want us to look at the involvement of private security practitioners, private security professionals. These are two sets of people that are just at the chunk and beck and call of the government. If you go and see the quantum of proposals for solution that private security practitioners have written and submitted to the government, try and go into that investigation. You will be shocked that the solution has been presented 1,000,000 times. And so many private and professional
Maybe you should do some here.
Maybe
you should do some solutions
they are also ready to give it for free. That is why you see people like us on TV, on radio, every time talking about the problem and the solution. The problem and the solution. Now, action relies definitely on the government. Now, if we say, how do people protect themselves? The first thing about protecting yourself is trying to identify your threat parameters. How do I get exposed to danger? That is the first thing. In the area where I live, immediately I'm driving or flying into, let me use a state like Ondo State. I'm entering into it, immediately my system locks into the type of crime I am possibly going to meet. Would there be hold up and road blockages? So how do I protect myself? There are two ways. You either use the government agencies or you use your personal skills.
So what do I need to do if I'm in an environment?
Yeah.
Because people need to learn.
Yeah.
What do I need to do if I'm in an environment and it's not secured? What do I do?
You leave.
You leave.
The most easiest thing to do, you leave. I have children. My daughter is growing up. I tell her, when you are with your friends, you are in a place you don't feel comfortable. There is an inner alarm system in everybody, even children.
Your instinct.
If you see children coming towards something, they are scared. Once you become uncomfortable, once you begin to perspire and feel harassed, you leave. It is when your attempt to leave is being resisted that you can now go to plan B. Plan B is that you would have detected or try to detect escape routes. When you are in a place, try to know how I can leave this place immediately without anybody seeing me. Plan C is, how can I conceal myself here if I cannot leave without anybody seeing me? As I enter this your studio right now, there are some areas I've seen also that I can just conceal myself. Put off my phone, not to even allow it to show the lights. Put off my phone, control my breathing, so I don't start to pant where they will hear me, and just remain there for that time. By the time I see that I can leave, I can leave. So you plan A is to leave when you feel uncomfortable. B, you try to escape if your leaving is resisted. C, you try to conceal yourself. Those are the first 3 points of IA, immediate action to deploy.
I also want to ask Colonel Shobo, in areas like the prone areas where they attack regularly, what do you think the communities need to do, those people in that community?
Very simple.
Area?
You see, the community should be able to know what is their SWOT analysis. The SWOT analysis want to tell us what is the strength of the community, one, what threat is the community faced with, what is the weakness of the community vis-a-vis that threat, what opportunities, like he has explained, can be exploited to ensure that crime is reduced to the barest minimum. So once these are done, the communities now know that they are not in isolation. They will try everything possible within their domain to see what they can do to improve the lot of the people within that community, and then reach out to government agency for further assistance. But if you are waiting for the DPO to come, then the DPO may not be available. But within your own community, you should be able to know from house to house what are the profile of the people that live in those places. You should have a database. You should be making communication. You should be having meetings. You should be talking with people. You should harden your community. That is what we call target hardening, with due respect to my colleague. That target hardening simply means put your position in a position whereby you can be insulated from any danger, from any harm. And if there is any, what is the dictum? The dictum is run, hide, and report. But if he says run, hide, and fight, well, fighting simply means you fight where you see somebody to fight. But in a situation where you know, like he has said, you cannot fight, you better hide yourself, switch off your phone, and continue to pray to God to save your life.
Okay, Ambassador, we need to also look at the role of the police right now. What advice do you have? You've heard where people had called in to say they've called several times, you don't get to hear from them. What advice do you have for the police? Not only police, I'm talking about also the security agencies.
I want to talk to security agents.
Yes.
Okay? As a security agent, you join the agency you are serving now as a civilian. You will leave that agency and you will come back to be a civilian. So, in every area of responsibility that you are supposed to carry out, every area, and you find encumbrances that does not make you to carry out those responsibilities, especially if you are in a commanding position, like an officer. There are military officers that are gone to communities that quickly liaise with the village head. There are police officers that have this PCRO, PCRC, they liaise. Okay? So as an officer, the first responsibility you have is the deployment of your statutory constitutional role, not extra. Don't give extra. Deploy that one first. If you cannot get it, then once you see the community crying to you for help, use your discretion. There is something they call number 6. Okay? You use your discretion to engage the civilians to give you the support that you require. If you go to the police station now, if they don't have paper to write your statement, you buy paper. If you go to the police station, you want to go a witness investigation, they want to go and search somebody's house. If you provide a vehicle or transportation, I'm coming. Now, when you see that the community is ready to support you, give them areas that are directly going to assist your ability to respond, not fraudulent requests. So as an officer in any government agency in Nigeria, note that you were a civilian, you are serving now, you will come back to the same society. Okay, finally, we need to wrap up this edition of the program.
Finally, I will
what
advise
word do you have?
People should not forget the emergency number for Lagos State. 767-112. Once you see something, please say something.
See something, say something. Yes, finally from you.
Well, I will not forget to add that we should not stop praying. You see, most people attack prayer now. They said, Nigerians like to pray. Yes, and Nigerians like to pray, but we have not had any international peacekeeping operation in Nigeria. Because both the Muslims and the Christians, they pray for this country. And I'm advising that prayer should go unceasing. When we pray for the country, it will turn the hearts of men to stop the criminality. And it will also make others to become confessional and give witness situation for containing those situations, those crises. So we should not stop what? Praying.
Okay, I want to thank Colonel Najim Shobo. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
A security expert and also another security expert friend in the house, both of them, Ambassador Roy Odebie. Thank you so much for coming on this section.
Thank you.
I guess the viewers have, you have learned one or two things from this edition of the program. We'll go on a break right now. When we come back, we'll be talking sports. Don't go away.
These are tips to help stay strong and healthy. Learn to do stretching exercises when you wake up. It boosts circulation and digestion and eases back pain. Studies have shown that eating a proper breakfast is one of the most positive things you can do if you're trying to lose weight. Breakfast skippers tend to gain weight. A balanced diet includes fresh fruits or fruit juice, a high-fiber breakfast cereal, low-fat milk or yogurt with wheat toast, and a boiled egg. Many people do not know how to brush their teeth properly. Improper brushing can cause much damage to your teeth and gums, as not brushing at all. Lots of people do not brush for long enough, floss, nor see a dentist regularly. Hold your toothbrush in the same way that you would hold a pencil, and brush for at least 2 minutes. This includes brushing the teeth, the junction of the teeth and gums, the tongue, and the roof of the mouth. Get your daily calcium by chugging milk or eating yogurt. It will keep your bones strong. Remember that your bone's density declines after the age of 30. You need at least 200 milligrams daily, which you should combine with magnesium, or it simply would not be absorbed. Tomato is a superstar in the fruit and vegetable pantheon. Potatoes and tomatoes contain lycopene, a powerful cancer fighter. They're also rich in vitamin C. The good news is that cooked tomatoes are also nutritious, so use them in pasta, soups, and